Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mr. Thompson's Algebra 1 class. Today we are going to be talking about linear functions. What's a linear function, you ask? Well, you already know what a function is because we have been talking about it for a while now. So now let's talk about the basics of a linear function.
She told him she'd rather fix her makeup than try to fix what's going on.
There are three ways to write a linear function. The first is y equals mx plus b. The second is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1.
I tell you where you need to go. I tell you when you need.
And the third is ax plus by plus c equals 0.
I tell you what.
In the first two equations, m is the slope, while in the last equation, m is found by the opposite of a over b. The slope of a line is a number that measures its steepness, usually denoted by the letter m. It is the change in y for a unit change in x along the line. Another way to describe slope is the rise over the run. Another term used in linear functions are the intercepts of the graph. This simply means where the graph crosses the x or y axis.
Slow us down to let the silence spin us around.
Now let's look at how to determine a slope by looking at a graph or chart and different functions themselves. First, we will take a look at telling slope by the equations themselves. Let's find the slope of the equation y equals negative 3/4 x plus 5. This is a standard form y equals mx plus b. So therefore we know that the slope is m, and in the equation m equals negative 3/4. Let's take a look at different equation. 2x minus 5y plus 1 equals 0. Since we know that in this form of the equation the slope is the opposite of a over b, we can say that m equals 2/5. Now let's take a look at some charts of points that make up a line on a graph. To determine the slope from a chart, you must look at the differences in the y values over the differences in the x values. Since in this chart the differences are 1 over 1, we can say that the slope is 1.
When I see you in my dreams at night, it's so real, but it's in my mind.
Let's look at a second chart. The difference in the y values is 1, the difference in the x values is 2, so therefore we can conclude that the slope is 1/2.
The walls between you and I, always pushing us apart, nothing left for sky.
Now let's look at some graphs and see if we can determine the slope from the graph. From looking at the graph, you can see that it rises 3 units and runs 1 unit, so rise over run makes the slope 3 over 1, which is 3. Also, you can see that the graph crosses the y-axis at 1. This is the y-intercept of the graph. You can see as well that the graph crosses the x-axis at approximately 1/3. This is the x-intercept. Let's try another one. From looking at the graph, you can see that it rises negative 2 units and runs 1 unit. So rise over run would make the slope negative 2. Also look where the graph crosses the y-axis at 3. This is the y-intercept of the graph. You can see as well that the graph crosses the x-axis at approximately 1.5. This would be the x-intercept of the graph.
You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies lit up the world as I fell asleep.
feeling like that.